Hey, we have our 2022 all-wheel drive Ford Transit here. We have had this van at the shop for a few years now. We've used for development of products, specifically our capsules. It's kind of been a guinea pig that's been getting kicked around a little bit, but now we get the chance to turn it into a camper van for everybody at the shop to use. We're gonna take it out snowboarding, we're gonna take it for beach days. I know I wanna take it out to some desert races for dirt bike riding. So we do know we wanna be able to put a lot of toys in it. We're gonna be able to load it up with possibly a couple kids. It's a blank slate that we have here, so we get to do whatever we want with this van, and we are really excited to get started with that so we can hopefully finish it up real quick and start enjoying it. So when it actually gets down to planning out your van build and thinking about the products you're gonna use, it can become very overwhelming. You spend a lot of time on the internet, and it's a lot. So to really make it easy, I like to just stand inside the van and look at the actual size that we're working with and get a roll of blue tape, lay out where you want your galley to be and your bed to be, and that will really get you an idea of how much space you're working with and where you actually want stuff to be. Okay, so I have my tape measure and I have my tape. I know the general sizes that I want my wheel well cabinets to be and my galley to be, but it's just tape. We can remove it and we can put it back down 100 times. So let's just start laying it out. So I want my wheel well cabinets to pop out about 22 inches. So I'm just gonna mark it, just a small little dash right here so I have something to work with. My tape. I have my 22-inch little tick mark right here. This is a very loose measurement that we have so far. There's a bunch of pre-made wheel well boxes out there. Kind of have an idea of which ones I want to go with, and they are 22 inches in depth. So I'm going to lay out my tape line here all the way across. I do not know how wide the bed is going to be right now, because we are using capsules, so we know we're going to be sleeping from east to west, but I do know that my box will not stick out any farther from there. And again, this is like super general. Nothing is exact right now. We are literally just going to get a general idea of where things are going to land, so we just have a better idea of what we're working with here. One cabinet right there. Obviously there's another one over here. I believe that one is a little bit more narrow, so I think it's specifics on that, but we're just gonna, again, it's general. I'm gonna lay this one out at 20 inches off the wall. When you start getting these boxes kind of laid out with your blue tape, you're gonna realize just how small a van actually is and what you're working with. So it's just such a good way to see of what you actually have here. All right, so that could be our Murphy bed boxes when we're all done here. So the galley I think I'm going to use is 40 by 22. So this should really take up some of the space in the van now. So just like the box is 22. So from box, we'll leave a little bit of space there just so they're not absolutely butted up to each other, but it's 40 inches. So obviously this flooring is going to come out at a later date, but this is super early in the planning stages. We're just trying to figure out what we're going to do with this thing. Fridge is going to open up out here. Some sort of sink. Not sure if we're going to do a cooktop or anything, but this is what we got so far. So I do know that in this van, we only want to do one cabinet. The bed will be east to west, and nobody wants to wake up in the middle of the night and bonk their head on the bottom of a wood cabinet. So we'll be doing it on the passenger side only. It's going to run the full span above our capsule. So just going to lay out some tape here just to give us the idea of a cabinet being there. I do know that we want some kind of toilet box or something to conceal, like a cartridge, a Dometic, or whatever we're going to end up using. And we can also put a cushion on it for a little seat. It's going to be around here. And I do know that for sure we want a full down seat of some sort. Again, some of the people here have kids and they want to travel with 2 and sleep 4. So I'm just going to lay out some very generic squares right here because I have no idea of how big a toilet actually is. But again, this is just to tell me where stuff is going to be, hopefully, maybe, and really get it on the ground. And then the full down seat. Looks like we should have ample space for a leg room, so there's no reason to really squish it up too close behind the driver's seat. So let's just pretend it takes up this whole entire spot right here. And then it is a 2-person seat, so it's fairly wide. We'll just say about that. This could shrink, this could stretch. We'll find out Oh, hopefully it's not that wide, but it could be. Obviously, this is when it's folded down, not up. They're very close to the wall when they are folded up. All right, let's see. I think that will work. I know on this van, we most likely will not have any 110 outlets. We don't really need them. This is going to be a simple van. So if you do have the need for 110 outlets, now is also a good time to think about where you'd want them. Bedside, near the galley for a cooktop or whatever it is. But again, just use blue tape and just lay stuff out. If you want a 12-volt socket there, you want a 110 plug over there, let's just lay it out now. You know, it's it just gives you a really good reference as to where things are going to be when this is all said and done. And so in just a few minutes there, we got everything laid out with the blue tape. We have our wheel well boxes, our galley, our toilet box, and our fold-away seat in pretty accurate dimensions. These could change a couple of inches, you know, narrower or wider, but it gives us a really good idea of how much space we have to work with. So when you're online picking out some pre-made boxes or a galley, you know the dimensions that you have to work with. We're going to lose a little bit with walls and everything, but again, this is a great tool to get at least going with your project. One of the must-haves of your van build is definitely a fan of some sort. There are two locations in a van that are most commonly used. That is the forward location and the rear location. I'm going to go with a forward location because we have vents or sliders in our capsule, so I want to be able to pull the air in from the front and have it exit through the back, so we have a good circulation of air. So now that we have like this general layout, when you go online and you find the galley and the bed system that you absolutely love and you know you want to roll with, we have exact dimensions of that.